Welcome to Chemistry with Crip. This video will focus on the four fundamental forces of nature. Every single dynamic in nature can be attributed to four basic forces that exist throughout nature. These forces either attract things together or repel things apart. Every single thing that is a thing is held together by one of these attractions, and every single thing that is separate from another thing is separated by one of these repulsions. The gravitational force is expressed through bodies or particles. Body is a large thing, and a particle is a small thing, that have mass. From our bodies attracted to the Earth, to the interaction between planets, the sun, to the interaction between solar systems, and the black hole at the center of our galaxy. Every object that has mass is attracted to other objects that have mass. And the more massive the object is, and the closer that object is, the stronger that gravitational attraction will be. The electromagnetic force is expressed through bodies or particles that exhibit charge. The two particles that we will be obsessed with in chemistry are protons and electrons. Protons have a positive charge, while electrons have a negative charge. Positive charges will repel other positive charges, and negative charges will repel other negative charges. However, positive and negative electrical charges will attract each other. Finally, the greater the amount of charge, and the closer that the charges are to each other, the stronger the electromagnetic interaction, whether attraction or repulsion, will be. Every single thing that exists is made of one of these elements on the periodic table, found below. And every single element is made of a certain type of atom, with smaller elements having fewer protons and electrons, and larger elements having more protons and electrons. With this in mind, every single element is literally an interaction of charges that either attract or repel one another. Finally, the strong and weak nuclear forces determine how nuclei will either hold together or break apart. Without the nuclear force, protons would not be able to exist together within a single nucleus. They would simply just repel each other apart due to their like charges. So the nuclear force holds protons and neutrons within an atom together. And it also dictates how they might break apart in a nuclear reaction. Although each of these forces are deeply important for explaining every single phenomenon in nature, it is the electromagnetic force between charges that chemistry is most obsessed with. Since another name for electromagnetism is light, one could say that chemistry is the study of light and of all its physical manifestations.
Photons are the packets of energy our eyes detect to see the world around us. And in the bizarre world of quantum mechanics, photons are at the very heart of magnetism. Plunging down to the subatomic level, we can see how atoms are made up of a nucleus surrounded by a cloud of electrons.
Think about the structure of an atom. There's a positive charge to the nucleus, and then the electrons have a negative charge. These two attract each other.
To explain this attraction, quantum physicists think that both protons and electrons spit out short-lived bursts of photons. Oppositely charged particles absorb each other's light, and this draws the particles together. This attractive force is known as electromagnetism.
Atoms themselves would not hold together if it weren't for electromagnetic forces.
Electromagnetism also causes atoms to stick together, to create the molecules that form us and everything around us.
Electromagnetism is responsible for the very structure of our matter, atoms holding together.
Molecular bonds in our bodies, those are bound together by electromagnetic interactions, and therefore they're bound together by light.
A universe without electromagnetism would come apart at the seams.
If electromagnetism was turned off, matter would dissolve.
Everything would just fall apart.
I could probably, with my superhuman strength, hold myself together, but the rest of you are doomed.
Electromagnetism not only holds everything together, it makes things feel solid.
When you touch something, that's the electromagnetic force as well. We have electrons in our atoms and they repel each other, and when you try to touch something, those forces keep you from actually physically touching it. The reason I don't fall through the floor is not that the floor is particularly solid. Most of the floor is empty space. It's the electric forces of the atoms in the floor against the electric forces of the atoms in my body that hold me up. Just those little forces of those few atoms are enough to hold me up against the entire gravitational force of the Earth. Electromagnetism rules.
The takeaways of this video are as follows. Every single thing in nature can be explained through attractive or repulsive forces. Chemistry is, in particular, the study of attractive and repulsive forces through opposite and similar charges. Every single element that exists is formed through and explained by their charge interactions. Until next time we consider the mysteries of the absolute, Crip.